Slam titles. But then a contender showed up. Martina Navratilova. She's seen her share of bad times, but that's old history now. In the 80s, she rules the course. Today, she faces her toughest test of the new year as an old rivalry begins again. Navratilova versus Evert Lloyd. It's coming up live.
Great admirer of hers, so who better to apprise how she is playing?
Well, Patrick, she has to change her game, I think, because she has lost several times in a row to Martina and has been dominated by Martina. Martina's gotten quick early leads, and she's had to try to catch up. So when I talked to her last night, she said, I've got to try to take the second serve earlier and never stand inside the baseline instead of behind it and attack it. And I also have to take the short ball and really do something with it. Now, whether she does that or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it should be a very interesting match.
Dominance is a word we can talk about when we refer to their last important match. This was the finals of the 1983 U.S. Open at Flushing Meadow. A match that Martina took control of from the very beginning. This is match point. And that was typical of the way things went all afternoon. 6-1, 6-3, Navratilova. Here is the story of the rivalry. 1973 through 1979, Chris Evert Lloyd dominated. Won 23 times, lost just 6. But things turned around as the 80s began. Martina Navratilova won 19 times, lost 7. Such a dominance that it was a surprise when Tony Trabert asked her about it.
She's really beat me 10 out of the last 11 times. I didn't realize it was that much.
I'm sorry, forget the number.
Thanks a lot, Tony. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just more confident now when I play her. I feel that she's the one that has to play her best to beat me, whereas in the years past it was the other way around, and that puts a lot of pressure on you, knowing that you really have to play your best to win.
It is a rivalry that Chris dominated in the early years. There was speculation they weren't the best of friends. But it was Chris' consistency on the court that frustrated Martina. And Martina has been trying to catch up ever since.
Well, the rivalry is there, you know, in a sense that I'm trying to catch up with what she's done. It's not personal. I mean, I have more respect for Chris than anybody out there, and I think she does for me too. I mean, we like each other off the court and on the court.
We're good friends, and I think we have tremendous respect for each other's games, but we also have pride, and we both want to be, you know, the best. So in that respect, I think that there is a little rivalry on the court, but not off the court.
One thing is certain, they are alone at the top of their sport. And the question they ask each other each time they meet is, who is #1 today?
She's just a versatile player, plus the fact that she is a superb athlete. Physically, she's just head and shoulders above the girls, but I think that mentally, if a woman can stay with her and get her in a position where it's 3 or 4 all, I think that, you know, I think that she's still vulnerable.
I know that she'll be psyched up more than ever to play me, and I'll better be ready for that.
So it's Martina Navratilova against Chris Evert Lloyd, the #1 ranked player in the world on the left, the #2 ranked player in the world on the right. And we will decide who is #1 today in just a few minutes. Virginia Wade, when you consider they have played now 55 times, this, as I said, 56, what can they do that could surprise each other?
I really don't think that they are going to surprise each other, but I think that both are such a fine player that they can play up to perfection standards on a given day. And so if either player is off a touch, that might put them in a little bit of trouble. When two such good exponents of the game play against each other, the only thing that can really happen is that somebody's a little sharper on a particular day. But I do feel that Martina has an all-court game. She can do everything. She can stay on the baseline, hit the ball hard. She can return serve very well, and she's a quick mover. She's surprisingly quick. In fact, that's one of the things that I think we should look at today, is just watch the amazing speed that she has, which you don't really notice. It is very carefully done. And
here is the way that Martina got to the finals. Nancy Juergen, Virginia Wade, Pam Casale, and then in the semifinals, Marcella Mester. And she won rather easily, with all due respect to you, every time out.
I didn't actually play badly against her. She didn't make a mistake, and there was almost no way to get anything past her or through her. I mean, I just think she's superb at the moment.
Tony Trabert, what about the playing surface? It is something called sport ease. Would it favor either one of them?
Well, it's not really extra fast, apparently, Pat, but one of the things we've noticed is that you do get a few bad bounces. I think there are a few sort of bubbles in the court. It's over the regular tennis court. It is good footing, obviously, and I don't think it really you know, favors one against the other. This is Chris's road to the finals. Again, fairly easy, except the 3-setter against Carling Bassett. Now, you say easy, but last night against Maleva, 6-4, 6-love, it wasn't that simple, though I thought Chris played exceedingly well, and she apparently was pleased with the way she's been playing, particularly coming off of a 3-month rest.
By the way, you might keep in mind Manuela Maleva, 6-4 and 6-love, she lost to Chris, as Tony said, but she looks like a very promising young player.
I think you talked about surprises, Pat. I think that if there are going to be any surprises, it's going to come from the tactics of Chris Evert Lloyd if she does what she said she was going to do. Now, she prefaced it by saying, I keep saying that I'm going to change, but I haven't in the past. But I think she's convinced herself that she's got to do something differently. So she said she wants to. There's Mike Estep, who is Navratilova's coach. Chris said, I've got to try to win some free points on my serve. She's using a graphite racket now, and she's trying to get more zip on it. She'd like to get some freebies like Martina does.
It is a sellout crowd. The arena holds about 4,400. Last night they had standing room only, and that situation exists again.
Umpires ready?
Chris Evert Lloyd will serve then.
Play.
Best 2 out of 3 sets. He'll play tiebreakers. Chris said one of the things I can't do is let her get out in front 5-love or get a big margin quickly like she did in the U.S. Open last year. Here's Martina's 1983 record. And that's correct. 86-1.
That one loss was to Kathy Horvath at the French last year.
That's
astounding and
frightening statistic.
There's a little something new right there, that Martina's rallying off the backhand with topspin. She'd been working on it, and we talked to her last evening, and I said, do you have enough confidence in it yet to do it in match play under pressure? And she said, well, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but she obviously has confidence right now because she's doing it from the baseline. It's working well.
But it's early.
But you know, when you're nervous starting out, it's a tough thing to do something that's somewhat new to you. You must believe in her. You would do it after you got into the match a little bit more. Well, there's a little bit of strategy on both players' parts. Martina's looking saying, uh-oh, I didn't expect that. Now what do I do? Great point.
Going back to Martina hitting with topspin, I think that what she was saying yesterday about hitting with slice is that when she's hit a lot, she tends to go back into the slice situation because that's when the habit returns.
Pretty close calls on those serves. I think Martina really felt that one's good. Now let's see if Chris goes the other way again, out to the forehand side. You see where Martina's cheating to the middle.
Navratilova wins the first game. Leading 1-love first set will serve.
And just what Chris did not want to happen. She wanted to get up on top.
15 love.
Yeah, Chris usually does start up a little bit slower than most players, and just takes a little while to get adjusted to the speed, but she can't afford to do that against Martina.
The career for Chris
15 all.
Evert Lloyd. Winning percentage of 91. Almost $5 million.
You know, that last return that Chris made is what she's going to be trying to do, is get the ball down, so Martina has to make her first volley defensively.
The career for Martina.
30-15.
Winning percentage of 85% and over $6 million in prize money.
Martina's done her winning more recently when prize money's been up. There's another good
30
return.
all.
But at the rate she's going with a practically perfect record, she could bring that percentage up too, that 85%.
Oh, yeah. 85 is good enough.
$40-30.
I think there's a case where Chris doesn't move as well as Martina, and she got to the ball a little bit late. Martina would have been over that kind of ball a little sooner, been able to get set up better.
She has to cover that with two hands.
Good shot. Look
how early she got that return. And she can go either way with that backhand return of serve, cross court or down the line.
It's one of the things she said she had to do, is get that, have a good service return to begin with and get it early.
Advantage Evert Lloyd.
That's a break point for Chris. And true to her word so far, she's going after that return of serve. She's not just trying to get it back in play. Now here's a key right here. See if Chris, she's standing way over, but see if she really goes after the second serve, tries to nail it. Yeah, she's convinced Martina to stay back. Heck of a volley by Martina. She was late getting in.
That's where you used to have a play against Martina. Now she's so tough off the baseline. She stood back and then nailed that backhand cross court. So
Advantage Navratilova.
She has really served well. That's the first ace, but she's gotten a lot of first serves in.
And she's still struggling.
A lot of pace.
Martina seems to me to be throwing her shoulder into her serve a little bit more, which gives her a touch more pace and, as she said, sends her into court more so she can come in. It's a very good play.
Advantage Navratilova.
Awfully good.
Well, Martina was lucky there.
She leads 2-love.
Good effort to get this ball back right here, and it just barely cleared the net. Chris is lucky to get to it. Couldn't do anything with it. Had a difficult time recovering. And bingo into the open court. So as we come back to live action, Navratilova leading 2-love.
It's the U.S. Indoor Championships.
Love.
Has not beaten Martina since the 1982 Australian Open. Lost to her 6 times in 1983.
That's where Martina is so tough. You've scarcely recovered from serving when that ball is right at your feet and you having to make a passing shot under tremendous pressure.
There's just nothing you do about that. Somebody step in and nail your second serve like that. Just say good shot. That was with that topspin we're talking about.
And that was a good second serve.
Shots from that point.
Martina's forehand down the line was somewhat mishit, but it came in deep, but not a lot of pace on it.
My guest step again. Works with Martina.
Chris is not getting a high percentage of first serves in, and that really puts pressure on her, because you know Martina does want to come in. Now the question in Chris's mind is, do I keep trying to hit the first serve hard and try to get some of those cheap points you talked about, or do I take some speed off and get a higher percentage in?
Game, Evert Lloyd.
Evert Lloyd after a
Navratilova
tough
leads
fight. Virginia Wade and Tony Trabert, U.S. Indoor Championship. Martina Navratilova to serve. She leads 2-1 first set.
Roulette.
Just kicked the top of the net.
Martina gave it a little bounce. She wanted that one. Would have been a clean ace. Obvious attitude change by Chris Evert Lloyd. She is really attempting to do what she said she was going to try to do, and that's be more aggressive on the return of serve.
15-all.
Another great return of serve.
15-30. Do we have 4 or 5?
We got 4 right now, and what's the most?
She's talking about the number of balls that they have. One is in the stands.
Let's check.
Lee Jackson in the chair.
Bring all the balls up to the chair.
Number 4 ball. Yes, the one went under the stand. Now, which one is not right? This one is not right.
Okay. There's the ball that went under the stands. Okay.
Did you get rid of that one, please? Just throw it away somewhere.
Now they've got him. Everything is straight.
Score is 15-30, first serve.
Lee Jackson told you what's going on. 15-30 first serve. Supposed to have 5 balls in play at all times, and now they've got them all.
Double break point.
50-40.
Well, Martina told us that if the ball goes back over the net more than 7 times, she loses most of the points against Chris, so she tries to rush it up.
Game Evert Lloyd.
Chris Evert Lloyd pulls even. It's 2 games apiece. By the way, we
2
showed you
games
Mike
all.
Estep, who is Martina Navratilova coach. Dennis Ralston, who works with Chris Evert Lloyd, was here earlier in the week. She is separated from her husband, John. He's not here. It's a situation which is obviously very personal, and she doesn't choose to talk about it, which is certainly her prerogative.
Martina hurt her hand, her right hand, running into the cooler.
The drink box that's on the
15.
box that's on the sideline. She says it's okay.
Fortunately, it's her right hand.
Love 15.
Good shot.
Chris's approach shot was not hit real hard, but was low. There's Nancy Lieberman, one of Martina's friends and traveling companions. Chris's approach shot couldn't be hit too hard because it was low, but she did get it deep.
Out. 15-30.
Double break point for Martina. Martina's approach straight up the middle. There was no angles for Chris. She got the ball too high to boot. Chris serving less than 50% of first serves at this point.
Great shot that was.
Oh, yeah. Martina says she got a bad bounce. Here's this terrific shot. You see how wide
40.
Chris is. She's in trouble. No, it's going to be difficult to come back. And look at that right down the line. Martina was there just barely. She motioned later that she got in a bad bounce. We'll come back to live action at 30-40. Martina looking for a forehand on this second serve.
Got what she was expecting, but didn't make the shot. Ball skidded, it appeared.
Good penetration on the second serve by Chris. That's what she's hoping to get with that graphite racket.
That racket.
Advantage, Evert Lloyd.
Net.
Off.
That's what you call taking it early.
That's what you call going for it.
There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Just too good a shot.
First serve percentage is only 43% for Chris so far.
Advantage Navratilova.
Great point for Martina.
I think the point is with that low first service percentage is that Chris knows that with this racket she can get a little more sting out of the ball, so she's actually taking chances. But somehow she's got to find a higher percentage because Martina's too tough on the second serve.
Not enough with the volley, so Martina leads 3-2, first set.
And we'll return with more tennis after this. The Computerland U.S. Indoor Championship. Navratilova leading 3 games to 2 in the first set. So far, it's been everything we expected.
We've already had 3 service breaks. Martina just got the last one, so she has a break again.
And Chris has succeeded in keeping Martina back more than I think Martina likes to be.
Well, she said one of the things she felt she really had to do was not let her break on top and get a big lead. She's done that.
When you're playing somebody like Martina who comes in all the time, there are 2 ways of handling it. Either you have to get into the net before her, which Chris isn't going to do, or you have to take the net away from her, which is pass her or lob her.
That's too good.
Yeah. That's such a fine volley.
She gets into the net so quickly, Martina.
I would, yes, just look at that comparison of numbers. That's a fine serve, too.
That's her second ace. All you can do is nod.
Chris said, you know, I know things I should be doing against Martina, but some of them I can't do. That my game isn't suited to do it. As you're saying, serving and volleying, for example. I suggested to Chris, I said, if you serve and volleyed once early in a match, you might have a heart attack. You know, she'd be so surprised to see you come in.
Double fault.
40-50.
That's the first.
At 40 love, you get a little carried away with your second serve.
I suggested also to Chris, just in casual conversation, of course, I'm not her coach, that like at a 40 love on her serve or something, she might serve and come in just to do that sort of throwaway point. And she said, yeah. But
that ball hit the top of the net and skipped over.
40-30.
40-30.
Martina guessed right, but the ball was not as far cross court as we'll see right here. This was a tough shot on the rise. Couldn't do much with it. Chris gets set up nicely. Early racket preparation. See Martina move, and actually the ball was not as far cross court as she'd anticipated. As we come back live at deuce. Missed it.
Advantage Navratilova.
Again, she did the right thing with the return of serve. She got it at Martina's feet. That's
it's too good.
Volley.
Good and deep.
Crisp.
Now Chris has got to start getting some solid first serves in to stop Martina from taking those chances on the second serve and, you know, really intimidating you when she hits that return of the second serve.
Serving at 2-4. First set. Just can't seem to get the first serve.
She's not missing by much. She's missing by a few inches deep or just into the tape.
Tony, do you see anything mechanically that's keeping her from being successful with that first serve?
She slices the ball, Pat, which makes it travel on a flatter trajectory. If you get a little more top on, she get a little more safety and get the ball to come down a little bit more. But again, she's served this way for so long, it's pretty tough to ask her to change it.
Love 30.
She's having to really force the ball in some of these situations, and that's why there are a few errors creeping in.
Well, she knows she has to get it deep. She said that. If I don't get it deep, she knows, you know, I'm in big trouble.
Something she's always been good at.
Absolutely.
Out. 15-30.
There was another thing that we talked about, Chris and I were talking last night, and that was that kind of a backhand. Every once in a while, roll it short into the corner of the service box and take Martina well out of court, and then she has to commit herself with one good shot.
Don't you think that when you try a shot like that, you lose your conviction as you hit the ball because you know in your mind that you probably shouldn't be doing it?
Look at her face. She's shaking her head.
The picture tells you she agrees with you.
First serve.
First serve percentage.
Picked up some, Chris.
30-40.
It's her first double fault. She really seems a little bit out of sync serving now.
She said earlier in the tournament her serve was a weapon for her, and she did not do it that well last night. And thus far, she has not served well.
But she thought that serve was out, too.
Game, Navratilova. She leads 5-2.
Game to Martina. And she moves further in front, leading Chris Evert Lloyd. Great college basketball. Georgetown led by Patrick Ewing against their Big East rival Boston College.
Serving.
And some of you will see an SEC shootout between Auburn and LSU. Auburn has a center named Charles Barkley who looked like a house. 6'6" and 280 at least. Bodies scatter. And that's coming up next. Regional basketball here on CBS.
Waiting for the crowd to get seated.
What we might try to notice with Martina at this end of the court is the way that she's really got a very wide stance when she starts to serve, and she really launches herself into the court.
There's a good return.
15.
She said that she had been trying to jump into the court a la McEnroe.
I don't see where the wider stance where she starts really does that for her, because as she pulls the back leg up, she hitches by the baseline. That really stops the thrust. So I don't know that you stand that much wider really does that much for her. That's too good. Little change of pace there. Kick first serve. Got the ball up high on Chris's forehand. Gave Martina more time to get in.
It does something for her if she thinks it does something.
Sure it does. Psychologically, absolutely. They make it look so easy, don't they?
Unbelievable.
Previous overhead by Martina was a miss hit. That's when Chris just got back there. Now Chris slides to the middle. She thinks it's going to go to her backhand side. Instead, Martina went the other way.
Game in first set.
Serving game.
Very strong serving game by Navratilova. She wins the first set, 6-2. It's the U.S. Indoor Championship. Match time, 34 minutes, 35 now. As Chris Evert Lloyd will serve the first game of the second set.
Correction.
Lee Jackson got into that one quickly.
That's a tough break for Chris because she's not going to win. You know, such a good shot right here that Martina hit it right in the bottom of the net.
Yes, it seemed to skid off the little bit of line there.
You play a let.
That means two serves.
Chris really needs his first serve because I have the feeling that it's distracting her from her ground strokes a little bit, the fact that she's having trouble with her serve. And by that I mean that so often one's game, the whole rhythm of one's game is dictated by the quality of your serving. If you're serving well, you just get up there and serve, and then it's over and done with, and then you can concentrate on the rest of your game. But if you're having to think about your serve, then your mind's still there instead of on the next shot.
Oh, get there.
Perfect lob. Watch Martina close in now. Good deep approach, not a lot of pace. Martina realized she couldn't get to it. She said, you know, just get out, but it didn't do it.
It's 15 all.
Virginia, what you were talking about, the serve, I think, is more so now with Chris because she's trying to make her serve more of a weapon. In the past, it was just starting the point at her own admission. With the graphite, she's saying, I'm trying to be more aggressive and a better server, so obviously it is on her mind. It's not working for her now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Out 30 all.
She's got to find a way of keeping Martina away from the net because Martina gets in so quickly and she sits on top of the net. Now, you'd think a lob would be a simple answer, but she puts so much pace on the volley that it's hard to get over there and control that lob.
It's two double faults.
Break point. That's created by the pressure Martina puts on the second serve. Makes the opponent try to do more with it.
And perhaps a little. They're still trying to get used to serving with that racket.
Won't get there. Super shot by Martina.
Almost
In the balls, please.
unbelievable. That shot she won the point with. She wins the first game of the second set.
That Michael Spinks really makes you work, doesn't he? He really goes after you.
New ball.
Undefeated and undisputed. New balls.
Just on the line, apparently. Martina doesn't believe it.
It did.
15.
Did look as if it might have just missed, but you know, it amuses me that Martina gets so distressed when she loses a point through a slightly bad call or something, because she is so anxious to strive after perfection. She feels that she can win just about every point, and she hates these little imperfections to come in.
15 all.
I think Chris should stand a little bit more to her left in that ad court to keep Martina from taking her out of court on that swinging serve. And as she goes down the middle, it brings you back into the playing area.
Martina's serve is hard to read. You can't tell whether she's going to put that swinging slice on it or flatten it out and go to the right-hander's forehand.
14-15.
I still think Chris should straddle that single sideline on that side in the ad court. Say to Martina, you're not going to take me out of court wide. If you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me up the middle.
Game Navratilova.
Game to Martina. That's her third ace. And she looks stronger and stronger.
Second set.
2-love, second set. Martina won the first set 6-2.
Here's what it looks like if you're Chris Evert Lloyd. Whew, goes by in a hurry. Don't have much time. We come back live. First serve was a fault. Love 2, second set.
15 love.
See Martina hit that ball back.
Right-handed.
Right-handed to the ball person. It's just another illustration of what an athlete she is. She can write right-handed, too.
She does.
And you can read it.
Just curved out.
15. Correction, 30 love.
Martina was looking for the cross court. If her ball had been good, she was already sliding cross court. Chris says, I know I play to a pattern, and they tell me she plays to a pattern, but I have a tough time handling it.
30-15.
You know, you play to a pattern, but on the other hand, these players they have every shot in the book. So you always have the option to not use the pattern whenever you like.
Yeah, you leave them an opening in any place they can hit it. Awfully good length that time. Martina's saying, get into it, get off that back leg.
Chris is having to come up with practically line balls in order to win points.
40-15. Double. That's 3. Can't get it working.
It's missing by so little.
Game Evert Lloyd.
Martina went for the winner.
In a row. That's what Chris is trying to do.
15 all.
Very important game right here to Chris Evert Lloyd.
30-15.
That's not an easy shot. 30-15.
That's terrific.
40-15.
You know, those last two shots that Martina hit, that high backhand volley and that little half volley, this is what she's so brilliant at now. When she's in a really difficult situation, she comes out with some stunning shots. That's great
Game
serving.
Navratilova.
She was saying last night that if
3-1.
Gives her
she leads.
great satisfaction
Second set.
to be able to go out in front of a crowd like this and do things that people don't think you can do.
Exactly. You know, you almost feel like saying, don't you get bored winning so easily? But she said that she practices so hard that the match is almost a treat for her. And she enjoys hitting great shots with people watching.
And she doesn't mind trying for great shots. Percentage of first serves, and as hard as Martina hits the first serve, it is a remarkable percentage.
The reason Martina's percentage can be so high when she hits so hard is that she always puts a little bit of spin on the ball. She never hits it totally flat.
Martina's instant pressure. When she's serving, she comes right at you, and when you're serving, if you don't get a great serve, and here she comes again. Boy, you've got to respond now. That is tough to do. Chris likes to rally, get in a groove.
She won this championship, Martina did, 1975, 1981. And she's on course to win it again.
Out. 30 all.
Gets us back to 30 all. What do you think if she continues, Martina continues like she is right now? Is this going to be an omen for the whole year, the way things are going to go between these two?
I think Chris can say, hey, I've coming off 3 months layoff, so in her own head, she can say, I figure I'm going to get better. We don't know if that's going to be the case, but it certainly helps Martina. Can't help Chris.
As she said, 3 months layoff, she's got a new racket. She seems to be much more calmer. I think that the problem with the marriage was worrying her, you know, in the last 6 months last year. And now that she's made some sort of decision about it, she's concentrating more on the tennis. And she's played very well this week. Very well, considering those things.
The things you talked about. A rather large point coming up right here.
Chris is not getting very good cover, topspin on that forehand, and when Martina comes in, she's not able to get the ball down, making her volley up, and like that shot there, she didn't get too much cover top on it, so it didn't come back down for her. Where the great mobility of Navratilova pays off. Another look, and you'll see stretched way out there, recovers, dives, and gets it over. Chris couldn't get out of the forehand corner, and it's break point. This is brutal right here. You might suspect that Martina might come in after this second serve.
Navratilova, she leads 4-1.
The tennis is so good. You just hope it would keep going on and on. Martina Navratilova won the first set 6-2, leads 4-1 in the second. U.S. Indoor Championship. She has gotten her last 20 first serves in. Phenomenal.
That's remarkable because she's not just bunting it in there, you know. She's really going after it, moving it around.
It's 21.
It's good play.
When you make the good return, force a defensive volley, you have choices. She had all kinds of choices that time. That return is up, and you're in trouble.
Love 30.
Martina's broken Chris 5 times. Chris has broken Martina once thus far.
A very faint glimmer of hope for Chris in this game.
12-30. And that's 22 consecutive first serves. 23. Great return.
Right. Little anger in that one. Frustration.
40.
Triple break point.
The streak is broken at 23.
As a crash of thunder is going on outside.
Tremendous rainstorm apparently going on outside. We can hear it on the roof.
Chris.
15-40.
She's saying get over the ball. She didn't get any topspin on it. Just carried.
She's getting so few opportunities to make good shots that I think she was actually taken by surprise that she had a fairly reasonable shot to hit.
Now, Chris is stepping up. See, on around that baseline. Try to take a little earlier. He's got it.
It takes great shots against Martina, and she came up with them.
4-2, Navratilova leads second set.
Chris has served 7 times thus far and only won her serve twice.
It's been the first serve that's really betrayed her. Breaks tell you the story. 5 by Martina, 2 by Chris. She's 29 years old now. Martina's 27.
Second service.
See the difference in the volleying of the two. When Martina comes in, she really puts something on the volley. Chris just blocked this, sort of prayed it into the corner. Had Martina deep enough and out of position, she could make the little drop volley. But the first volley didn't have much authority on it.
She has rarely gone to the net, and that's the first point that she's won at the net.
I've been there 9 times. Martina's been there 50.
That might be good. That is good.
No problem for Martina.
15 all.
She can handle any of these
Hit
shots.
right on the line, and she slices it. Wide.
30-15.
Pretty hard to win a point around here.
That's what it's supposed to be like in that top grade of tennis. It's terrific when it is tough to win a point on either player. That's when it's fun.
Out. 40-15.
And as we were saying, they can't really surprise each other, so they're fairly comfortable playing out there with each other's games.
56 times they've played now. Chris still has the overall edge. It's 30-25.
40-30.
Those volleys of Martina have so much on them. Chris got over there, but the ball was just getting under her racket.
Chris is sort of trying to steer that serve now. She's trying to do anything to get that first serve in.
What a great point.
There's a top spin you've been looking for. Navratilova leads 4-3 second set. Here's another look. Chris a little slow getting that racket ready that time. Good racket preparation here with a looping forehand, top spin, good angle.
Game, Evert Lloyd. Navratilova leads 4-3.
And we will return to 4-3 now. And Martina Navratilova will serve, serving at 76% of her first serves getting in. And the task confronting Chris now is to break that serve.
Martina's had 20 unforced errors and Chris only 13. Martina's had 18 winners and only 13 for Chris. Sort of figures. Just wide.
Slice wide.
They're sort of being strict about unforced errors. When these two are hitting the ball so hard, you can hardly call any of them unforced errors.
Long.
Boy, that's something you don't see very often. An offensive lob that you can get over Martina's head. Now here she makes a volley cramp right at her body, stays in tight. Chris really drove this from very deep in the court, well behind the baseline, perfectly. Of course, the task for Chris Evert Lloyd is to get a service break to get back into the second set.
Out. 40-15.
Task becomes tougher. 40-15.
Game, Navratilova, she leads 5-3.
That ball went way up over the lights. Didn't hit the rafters. If it did, Chris would have lost the point.
Evert Lloyd serving.
Crowd giving Chris encouragement because they want to see a little more of this.
So do I.
In fact, Martina probably never gets crowds on her side anymore. Not because they don't like watching her, they want to see more.
15 love.
She said she's accustomed to it. She knows they're not against her, but it's just, she said, I was the underdog for years.
Yeah.
So I've been playing tennis for 22 years, and I was the underdog until about the last 3. So I understand it.
She said, I'm old enough now so that they're used to me. So her dig the ball out of the flowers, fire it back. Not much she can't.
Super get.
30 love.
I don't think there's another woman playing the game that would have gotten to that second ball, having been stretched out that far to get the return of serve. That's one of the things that makes Martina great.
For a second, you saw Chris think that she'd hit a winner there, which against anybody else for sure would have been.
That ball would have been a problem for Carl Lewis to get to.
It's a good shot.
Out. 30-15.
It's a good forehand of Martina's down the line. She prefers to go cross court on that, and that just shows you how confident she is. In fact, you know, we were saying that she keeps going for her serve. When she got 23 first serves in a row, it wasn't that she was holding back, but she goes for all her shots, and that's really the way to play this game, if you can have the courage to do it.
And the equipment.
But once you get tentative, that's when errors start creeping in.
Chris Evert Lloyd once again will have the task of breaking that great serve as Martina leads 5 games for championships. These are two tough championship dedicated players.
And as Chris said, they both have such pride. They want to be the best. They're going to give you their best at all times.
Navratilova serving.
Yeah, both of these players are contending for the #1 player of all time. They're both so good.
Good.
Yes.
Smart play there by Chris. She didn't take a big long backswing. Used the pace on the serve by Martina. Just directed it solidly down the line.
He missed it.
15-30.
A little loose with the volley.
A little nervous, it looked like to me. A little tentative. First time we've seen that out of Martina today. Not just the miss, but the way it was done. Double break point. There are the service breaks to date. Chris Evert Lloyd trying to get even at 5-all in the second set.
Got a chance to have a go at a second serve now.
I don't think Martina will come in. I think she'll stay back. And she did come in.
That was a good second serve. Deep and right in the corner.
That left-handed kick serve to your right-hander's forehand is always a tough serve. She's taking a little bit more time. She slightly rushed this game.
Trying to put the concluder on. Susan
Just to get it done.
Yep.
There's the service break.
Watch this. She was pushed on the return of serve, but she got it down at Martina's feet, and then she could have gone either way. Martina couldn't make a choice.
And
Evert Lloyd, game 5-all.
Chris's choice from that position normally is cross court, and that was really where Martina was leaning. And the veteran wisely went the other way with it.
Now, this is a situation that Chris mentioned before, that if you can actually get to a situation where you can challenge Martina, one doesn't have all that confidence in her mental strength as far as her physical strength, compared with her physical strength.
Just long.
Just close.
30 long.
Chris made a good shot off it anyway, but Chris's quote was, if I can stay close to her, I think she can be vulnerable.
Yes, it's just a little, little slight chance.
Well, nobody's been this close throughout the tournament. She hasn't lost a set.
It's also surprising, exactly, it's surprising for her to be in a challenging situation.
The crowd loves it. Good deep forehand by Chris. Not hit real hard, but Martina had to take it right off the court. Short, and see Martina stays. Chris goes the other way as we come back live. It's 40 love. People are getting into it now, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd loves it. Chris Evert Lloyd up 6-5 in the second set.
That is coming next on CBS, the home of the NCAA championship. Boston College against Georgetown, or Auburn against LSU. But right now, we've got great tennis coming your way. U.S. Indoor Championships between the two best players in the world. Navratilova won the first set 6-2, was on a roll in the second. In fact, she was up 4-1. Now Evert Lloyd leads 6 games to 5. Just wide.
15 all.
Whoa. Martina says okay. Now that's better. 30 love, it is.
The umpires, Lee Jackson, travels on the tour with the women, and they know one another very well, so there's no lost concentration.
Should we get to the tiebreaker, these two have faced each other in tiebreakers 8 times.
And Chris leads 5-3. It's amazing, only 8 times in 55 or 6 matches.
And we'll be in that tiebreaker.
Navratilova. Evert Lloyd to serve the first point of the tiebreak.
First to reach 7 by a margin of 2 will win the tiebreaker. Chris Evert Lloyd will serve first. She only gets 1 serve. And Martina gets 2, and it goes thus and so.
Navratilova to serve 0-1.
Chris served starting in the deuce court. From now on, the serve starts in the ad court.
Send the ball down, please.
And they'll change ends without a rest after 6.
Martina's given up serving to Chris's backhand after Chris made so many good returns of that backhand.
Evert Lloyd to serve 1-2.
Martina came very close to touching the net with her racket when all she really needed to do was just drop the ball over the net. She swung at it.
I think she did that with a little bit of disgust.
Mm-hmm.
Because she hadn't put things away earlier. Hit the top of the net, bounced over Martina's racket.
Tony, this is your test, as you were saying at the beginning, with the topspin backhand, because now that the pressure is really on, we're seeing Martina hitting her happy, familiar
underspin,
slice.
right. Martina was there to try to make that volley, but the ball ticking the net jumped over her racket. It's 2-all.
Well, that serve took a funny bounce. Wide.
Navratilova to serve 2-3.
I think it's important to say also that we're not being critical of Martina at all. It's just that as good as she is, she's practiced and practiced and practiced the topspin backhand, but she still doesn't believe in it enough to do it under pressure. She's done it the other way so long.
Well, the other is her natural shot, which comes out under extreme pressure.
Wide.
I mean, in fact, the topspin backhand for Martina is really just gilding the lily because she has everything. It's amazing that she can still make improvements.
Well, you got to have something to work on, I guess. The reason you go out there and practice.
Keep your enthusiasm.
It's a great thing about this game is you can always find things to come up with.
When I asked Chris last night, I said, what makes you keep going, be enthusiastic? She said, I haven't hit my peak yet. I'm trying to peak. Incredible.
Why didn't Chris lob there? She had time to go over Martina's head, and she has the best lob in the business.
They are on serve in the tiebreaker.
And neither player has missed a first serve thus far in the tiebreaker. That's good, under pressure. Awfully good. Second let cord that pays off. Martina's looking up, say, hey, are you against me? Here's another look. Martina's in. That ball ticked the net and jumped over Martina's racket for the second time in the tiebreaker. 4-all.
Remember, you have to win by a margin of 2. First one to 7.
Navratilova to serve. 5-4.
Now she can serve it out.
There's an unforced error for you. A little cautious. Even the best of them get a little cozy under pressure at times.
Double match point. 6-4.
Yeah, the service linesman gave a good signal, but Lee Jackson called it out. I think both players agree.
Yeah, Martina didn't question.
Navratilova, 6-2, 7-6.
An exhausting match for both players, and a good match for both players. 6-2, 7-6, Navratilova. 7-4 in the tiebreaker in the second set.
A little touch of class by Chris to get back in that second set, trailing 1-4. Martina serving at 5-4. And then having lost that, Martina did a terrific job to get it together in a tiebreaker.
And much more satisfying, really, for Martina to play and win such a toughly contended match.
We will be talking with the players. Tony Trabert going down to help conduct the ceremonies, the awards. But right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. Match.
Putting on a first-class performance, and I think everybody loved every minute of it.
Well, they seem to be set down courtside for the closing ceremony. Let's go down to our colleague, Tony Trabert.
Thank you very much, Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, to make the first presentations, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Julius Hoyt of the United States Tennis Association.
Fine. Thank you. The silver ball from the USTA as runner-up in our national championship. Congratulations, Chris. Very good, Chris. And Martina, I think this is the third time that you've come and taken the gold ball as the winner of our U.S. National Women's Indoor. I present that to you. And then this is the trophy of the event. Congratulations, Martina.
Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to present the chairman of Computerland, Mr. William H. Malone. Thank you.
And to you, Martina, the first Computerland champion, we'd like to present this symbol of excellence, Excalibur by Steuben. I think you better be very careful.
Chris, I'm sure everyone here would like to hear you respond. And first of all, congratulations on a wonderful match.
Thanks. Well, I'd like to thank Computerland for sponsoring this tournament and IMG for finding Computerland to sponsor this tournament. Also, we've stayed at the Ramada Inn. I'd like to thank the Ramada Inn for keeping the players all week. Alan Morrell for being the tournament director. And all I can say about today's match is, you know, I thought I played pretty well. And you know, I think that the difference was that Martina's just playing the big points a lot better, and every time I got into a situation of 40-15 or 30 love, she'd come up with her best tennis. So she's very confident in playing the big points better, and I'm going to have to work on that. But I'd like to congratulate her because she's a great champion, and I have a lot of respect for her.
Thank you very much, Chris. And now, the 1984 indoor champion, Martina Navratilova. Martina, congratulations to you. You need more hands for all this loot.
Well, it's beautiful because usually you don't get any trophies. You know, it's only hardcore cash, and
that's too bad, isn't it?
Of course, I don't see most of it. I mean, half of it goes to Uncle Sam. The rest goes to all kinds of people. So I'm just glad that, you know, I was lucky enough in the second set to pull it through. Chris really, I thought, played well. I played well. I just, I know a lot of people were hoping for 3 sets, but I tell you, if I'm going to stay around long enough, I can't go 3 sets. It was nerve-wracking as it was, but I'm glad that we put up a good fight for the people.
Well, everyone certainly enjoyed the match. Congratulations, Chris, Martina. Well done. Now back to you, Pat.
Tony.
Thank you very much, Pat. Well, Chris, a terrific match. I know you're basically pleased with the way you played, except probably your first serve.
Yeah, I've been bragging all week. That's been, you know, the best part of my game with all my matches. And today it really let me down, and it's just one of those things.
Did it have an ill effect on the rest of your game? Meaning, did it haunt you a little more? I know before you played, you said, I just sort of start the serve to get the point going. Yeah. But now you're trying to use it as a weapon. When it doesn't work, does that affect you? Well,
I think that I can get away with a good second serve with all the other players. But with Martina, she puts pressure on me because she just takes the ball and comes in right away. And it puts pressure on me to hit a winning shot. So in that respect, I really need to get my first serve in. But I was very pleased with my return of serve. That's the other area that I had to do well.
It was one of the areas you talked about, saying you've got to take it early and go for it, and you did that very well. And when you got the ball down, you got some pretty good second shots.
Yeah, I was pleased with my return serve, and I just have to work on my first serve a little bit more.
How about movement? Can you do anything to try to be a little faster? Because I know Martina beat you on some really what we call athletic moves.
Yeah, she hits a lot of angles, sharp angles, and you know, I'm used to hitting around the baseline, so when she jerks me around in the forecourt, it's very difficult for me. And I missed a couple of approach shots, and those shots I really have to make. But I'm pleased overall. The last 5 matches I've gotten blown off the court, you know, in less than an hour, so I think that I really did put up a good fight.
Chris, you did very well. We appreciate you being with us. Congratulations. All the best the rest of the year.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we get Martina Navratilova to come over, the champion. Ladies are great. They're so graceful to come over. Martina, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question, though. You were cruising along pretty well. You had a set in 4-1, and all of a sudden you were serving at 5-4, and it got away. What went through your head?
Well, at 4-1, I wanted to hold serve. So I figured if it's 5-1, then I'll pretty much have the match in hand. But Chris got loose. She had nothing to lose, so she started going for everything and was making shots. I really didn't miss any balls except at 5-4. I missed one forehand volley at 15-0 that I should have made. But that was the only shot loose ball that I played, the 2 service games that she broke. So she just really, you know, put it, when the money was on the line, she made the shots. And then when I had my back to the wall, I made it. So it was back and forth.
Well, I was going to say that. You came back, and we'll show you match point here on the monitor. You can talk about it. You served well to get the 6-all, and then you got into match point. Here it is.
Well, I was just reflexed the volley before that, and I just figured, no, I have to go for it. I can't be too, you know, safe with the ball. I just got to go for it. And again, I'd like to thank all the people that made this tournament possible, especially Computerland. This is the first event as sports promoters, and I hope that they'll be back. They did a great job, and of course Virginia Slims, but that goes without saying.
Right. Just one thought, and then we got to go back upstairs. You served 23 first serves in a row during the second set.
Did I really?
Incredible. You served over 75%. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of your Martina.
Thank you very much.
Great work. Now back to you, Patrick.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much. Virginia Wade is here with me still. And Virginia, you've played both of these players so many times. You've seen in the 80s a dominance by Martina. You saw her win today. It wasn't a dominating match by any means. Do you think it's going to have a long effect on Chris and the way she plays the rest of the year?
Well, Chris said that she feels a little happy at the beginning of this year, that she felt that last year was a year that she didn't want to talk about too much. She wanted to discount. So I think that in her mind, she feels that she's out there as a real challenger. And I think she's playing awfully well. I think that was, as we said, you know, she hadn't played for 3 months. She has a new racket and all the rest of it. And I think if we watch the quality of this tennis, we're going to watch the match point again. You know, she's getting hold of those fast serves from Martina. She's maybe just got to tune up a little bit back into match play, because she was a fraction slow getting to that, but that good lob of hers hardly missed. And I think that Martina will always have trouble, because Chris has always been an absolutely fantastic tennis player.
Well, it would be difficult to say if there's ever been a more dominating player in the history of tennis. What do you think?
I think that, you know, the only question anybody has is that Martina